Hey guys, Viking 82 here, back with another Viking Orations. Got another review for you today, and this time I'm going to be talking about the debut EP from the band Repentless, entitled Maggots. Put out recently, just recently I should say, by the band themselves. And if you're not familiar with Repentless, they are a death metal band from Indianapolis, Indiana. Been around since 2018, featuring Incinerator on bass and vocals, Gurgitor on drums and vocals, and finally Necromancer and Nameless on guitars. As I said, this is the band's debut EP. It is 5 tracks, just a little under 8 minutes in length. Now, this particular CD version, which you can pick up from the band, actually has their Death Fucking Metal demo from just last year as bonus tracks, so it flushes it out to an even 10 tracks and just a little under 19 and a half minutes in length. But for the purposes of this review, I'm just going to be talking about the 5-track EP itself. Now, I first discovered this band when I picked up the cassette that Vile Iniquity put out here a little while back. As they stated that the live portion of that cassette, the live side, was recorded at a show where Repentless was a support act for them. So, of course, I checked them out, really dug what I heard, but I waited to pick up anything because I knew physical copies were coming, even though I really wanted to pick up the digital so I could really, dive into their music more right off the bat, but I wanted to wait for the physical copies. I finally have it, and I gotta say, one word adequately describes this EP, and that is raw. I mean, the overall production of this record sounds like they recorded it in their rehearsal space, which is not really a bad thing, to be honest with you, because it actually works for these songs as they really go for that primitive, evil vibe and atmosphere of the early death metal bands and even early black metal bands as well. The guitars have a thick yet raw tone to them, churning out mid to fast-paced riffs with some slower chugged moments, as well as some nice solos with some finger-tapping sections, which I thought were really cool. The band also utilizes feedback at times to either start a track or end one. Track number 2, The Stench of Decay, that opening riff has a nasty Slayer vibe to it, which is absolutely awesome because everybody knows Slayer rules. Really heavy sounding bass on this EP. It doesn't really stick out too much in the mix, but it can still be made out rumbling away, and it's very obvious when it actually kicks in because it really flushes out the sound of the song as soon as it kicks in. Now, the drums really have no flashy elements to them. He's just simply bashing out just primitive death metal beats, which honestly fits the overall feel of these songs, I think. Think the drumming style on Death's Leprosy. That's kind of what I was reminded of. It's just that, simplistic death metal drumming. Lots of nice blast beats to be found here, though I think the rehearsal room production can make it a little hard, or should I say kind of bury the drums just a little bit, but not overly so in the mix. You could still make them out pretty good, but I think it kind of hindered them just a tiny bit. Vocally, you get these, throat shredding kind of rasps and shrieks with the occasional falsetto scream, which is always cool to hear because he'll start out one way, then he'll just give this nice high scream, and then they're all backed with these nice low growls that really give off a bit of a exhumed vibe to them. Overall, I think this is just a short, sharp blast of primitive death metal. You could feel the fury of this band in these songs. You could feel their passion for death metal, especially the early progenitors of the style. I really hope this band gets signed at some point, puts out even more material, and even if they were given a better recording accommodations, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to lose any of that, fire or anything. I just think, it'll allow them to better hone or tune in that fire so that all the elements can be properly heard, as there's definite talent here. And I think these guys have got a good sound to them, making some really solid death metal. I just think maybe a little bit, better recording accommodations would definitely make things, more fine-tuned. Yeah, I would still give this a solid 8.5 out of 10. Go check out Repentless. I will leave a link down below to the band's Bandcamp so you can check this out, as well as their other recordings, and pick up a copy of this if you so wish. So yeah, that is going to do it. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and until next time, stay brutal.